Rob Dew reporting for Infowars.com at the back of the Toschenberg Palais Hotel. There's a ambulance, I guess, waiting for if Henry Kissinger has a fall or something or drowns in his tub. Who knows? But anyway, we've got Alex from InfoKrieg, a long-time listener. InfoKrieg means Infowars in German, and he's got infokrieg.com and infokrieg.de as well.
It's infokrieg.tv, it's recenter.com, and you can find us on the web pretty easily.
All right, so one of the things they're talking about in here is this new precariat class, which is, I guess, one step away from absolute peasantry or something, absolute serfdom. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, according to recent numbers, 17% of all European working age people, 17% are without a job. And of course, you know the American numbers, 100 million Americans without a job. So there used to be a lot of talk about the proletariat, the working class, not making much money, but at least having a stable job or a stable work environment. But of course, these guys, they moved a lot of the production overseas. While some of these insider companies, they did not have to move overseas because it's oil business and banking stuff that stayed here. So obviously a lot of jobs are gone, and they're talking about this new low class and what to do with them, because at some point they might get smart, they might get organized or whatever. So their idea is the basic unconditional income. The Swiss people just voted it down. It was this big vote a few days ago. And it was about revamping, completely changing the social security or social system.
Yeah, so giving each person like 2,000, 2,500 Swiss francs a month. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's different in each country when it's proposed, but I think it was that high in Switzerland. But of course, living cost is higher in Switzerland. Other countries have said it would be more like 800 euros, and it could be 800 euros to 1,000 euros in Germany. So instead of having all these different payouts, these different payments, you get one payment for everyone. So that way they can prolong the social welfare system, because it gets cheaper. You don't have to hunt every dollar. You don't have to hunt every euro. You just have a fixed amount of money paid to every person each month. So you can pay the rent, you can pay your Netflix, everything. So that's for one thing, is to keep the new low class, the precariat, happy with that. You get food, you get your rent paid. And so the precariat will defend the new order. And also we've seen companies announcing they're going to return to Europe and return to America with their production, like Nike or Adidas. They've announced they bring the production back home, but it's going to be robot factories. So not a lot of jobs here. So more people in the precariat, more people to keep happy, more people to keep into the system they're going to defend. Because imagine going to someone and saying, you know, we need to change this, you know, you shouldn't be getting this free money each month. But it's going to be cool at first for some people, but it's going to be conditional. They announce it as unconditional, but it's going to be conditional. At some point, you know, you
can't speak out.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, you're going to have to work in some capacity, and before you know it, you're going to have a system that was like here in East Germany.
You're going to be a minder.
Yes.
Walk around and follow people around and report on them to the government.
In this place in Eastern Germany, it was illegal not to work. So if the government could provide 10 jobs, they would stick 15 to 20 people to do the work of 10 people, just so that everybody had to report to work and go to work, even if they were making stuff that nobody really needed or it was low quality. But it was a requirement for you to work. You were going to prison if you didn't work, and so. They're bringing this back, and it's interesting enough that a company that is represented here every year, Siemens, they sold computers to the Eastern Bloc, especially the Stasi. The Stasi was using a Siemens computer up until '87 for the most intimate database of agents and what they provided. And so it's pretty interesting to see that these companies, they were creating the system as we know it. And so here you have like the Western left, kind of the Fabian Society created left, and that was a ploy basically to protect against the Eastern infiltration, because the Eastern Bloc was closed, and today it's closing again. So the West is an open society. So the Western globalists, they were thinking, if we support communism in the East through these companies like IBM, Fiat, all these companies that are at Bilderberg, we build up communism in the East, we have to protect against it in the West. And so they created their own leftist groups that sounded like the Eastern groups, but they were run by the Fabian Society. And so a lot of people, they didn't even know what they were following because they sounded all the same.